Hey, what's up everybody? I am Daniel, and today I'm going to be doing a little review on the John Danaher Enter the System Kimura series. And I'm doing this today with this grappling dummy because I can describe to you kind of what's going on and try to tell you what John is telling me, but it's, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I'm just going to show a few things that I learned from the video. But first I will say that the video is fantastic. I have all of the Enter the System videos, and all of them are great. I'm going to be doing more reviews kind of like this, where I just show just like a little smattering of things that I learned from the videos. You have to realize that all of the Enter the System videos are right around 10 hours long. This is 10 hours of densely packed material. And so, just to give you an idea of how dense it is, I learned Kimura 22 plus years ago, okay? And I could only absorb 15 to 30 minutes at a time of the video, and this is the second time that I've been through the video, okay? So I've already watched the 10 hours before, and then I watched the 10 hours through again, and I can still only absorb 15 to 30 minutes of the video. It is so densely packed, and there is so much good information. I don't care if you are Andre Galvao, you will learn something from the videos. It is a fantastic video series. There's not a whole lot more that I can say. Like I said, I'm going to show you a few of the things that I got this second time around through and shaped up since the first time around. We just went through, at our gym, we just went through the 1 month block of Kimura. And we did a lot of stuff from the Danaher video series as a gym, and it was fantastic, and we all learned a ton every single time we went in the gym. But I'm just going to show you a few of the details that I learned and that I'm using now. But I will say the Kimura video is $98 when it's on sale at BJJ Fanatics, and for $100, it is a no-brainer to get this thing. No-brainer. When I show this to you, you have to realize that I am not John Danaher. I'm not going to be able to explain this to the nth degree like he does, and I'm not going to be able to execute like him or Gordon Ryan do. I'm just showing you what I got from the video, a few things that I got from the video. This is just a tiny little portion of what I got from the video. So the first thing is his braking mechanics. So his braking mechanics are based on a pull dominant Kimura. And I'll show you, typically what we see in class and what I do and what I've been caught in so many times is you're in some type of side control, you have this guy's head pinched, and you get into this pushing battle where you're pushing like this and you're like, and he keeps buying just a little bit of space with his head, and you're like this, and the guy is really flexible and he won't give up, and you're just and you're pushing like this. This works on a guy that doesn't have flexible shoulders and can't buy a little bit more space with his head. So what John Danaher does is he goes off of what he calls the power line, and this is a general rule in jiu-jitsu that you want to control this diagonal line between a hip and the opposite side shoulder. So this is something that we commonly see when we come up to knee on belly. So if I'm here in any type of side control and I want to come up to knee on belly, my hands come up to this diagonal line, and then I hop up, right? So that's a pretty common thing. It's the same principle with his Kimura. So ordinarily, whenever you get in a Kimura type situation, the guy always hides his hand, and this hand is usually grabbing the other hand, and you're in this position. What he's in, if you watch Gordon, he leads with his elbow. So he'll be in this position, and then he'll lead with that elbow, and then block this hip. So he leads with the elbow and blocks the hip. Now, once this Celebrita arm is like a T-Rex arm. It's not the same size as a normal human arm, so it acts just a little bit different. But when he's in this position, okay, so this looks like a weird Kimura position, right? Look how flat it is, and this isn't normally what you see. But I step to this line like this, and I use my legs to be able to push up, and see how his hand is stapled because my elbow is stapled to the ground, and it's stapling his hand to the ground. And then as he's stapled and I push with my leg, it will come up and snap that arm. And I actually accidentally snapped this Celebrita arm. This is pecs in here. And I was just going through it really slow, and it still popped it. But that is one thing that I gained. Another thing is for the grips. So how many times have you done Kimura and you grab the wrist like this, right? You grab here and you're muscling. Well, John never ever goes below here. And this 2 inches, you have to realize, is everything. So anytime you double the length of your lever, you double the amount of torque on the fulcrum, right? So by coming from here to here, you get a way more leverage. And then whenever you do the one-handed Kimura, you come all the way up to here, right? And then Glenn adds in a wrist flex here, which that's another thing with the Danaher Kimura series, is trying to get this elbow as high as you can close to this shoulder. And the higher it gets, the weaker it gets. So just an additional thing, this is not on the Danaher video, this is some Glenn action. When you come here and you start to wrist flex the guy, he's gonna run, and he runs up to this bad position with his shoulder typically. Anyway, so that's his normal braking mechanics for this. So what I'm gonna do is, he goes into a lot of Ti-kimura stuff on this. And you may call it something different at your gym, but the Ti-kimura is, well, I'll show you. It's a restraint position. It's not a finishing position. So a typical way to get into the Ti-kimura, and he has a ton of things on here about Ti-kimura, how to finish from Ti-kimura, and all of this. But I'm just going to show you kind of a simple way of how to get into it. So how many times have you been in side control? This guy buys the underhook, right? And he comes up to a single leg type position like this. So a simple way to do it is, I'm basing out with this hand, I base out with this foot, I grab here. Now, see this windshield wiper leg? This leg will windshield wiper, and I just sit down to here. I'll get in a better position so you can see. So you see how his head is a pillow on me? Now, this is another crazy thing that is John Danaher. Our instinct as jiu-jitsu guys is to like motorcycle this down. The thing is, this is not as powerful as the hack. So he does this, and he does this. And this is so much more powerful. So if a person were to roll this way, they would Kimura themselves. So 99% of the time, they roll into you. So when you hack down, it puts them right back down on their butt. The thing is, if you miss it, and say he starts to come up and you miss this hack, when he comes up, check this out, there's always this gap underneath here. So as he comes up, there's this perfect gap right for my knee to come in. And from here, I can go into all of my back controls from here and decide how I'm gonna finish from there, right? So the Ti-kimura, he has a ton of stuff from the Ti-kimura, and that has, once you start working from the Ti-kimura, you realize that the Ti-kimura is like basically everywhere. But like I said, he has hours and hours of material on the Ti-kimura, how to finish the Ti-kimura, how to keep the guy down in the Ti-kimura, how to attack the back from the Ti-kimura, all of this stuff. I'll show you one last thing from the video that I thought was pretty cool. So, how many times have you been here? I'm here in this half guard type situation, and I get this, and he sucks it back in, okay? So now, a lot of times, we're in this position, we swim out, we come over, and we cover. If we're lucky. But what's better is if you can put the man's hand behind his back. So, if I'm here like this, I know he's gonna suck it in, right? So I wanna attack his wrist with my hip. So as soon as I know I'm gonna come up, I hip out. And now this is trapped against here. So it's very difficult for him to bring this back in. Once it's in here like this, now I can slip my foot out. And now he's in this position. And we roll this way right into, as John Danaher says, our favorite breaking position, right? So another thing about the Kimura DVD, this is a perfect time for you to work out with your grappling dummy. You can use the grappling dummy for, I would say, 60 to 70% of the movements that he uses. It's very difficult for you to use the movements that are like from standing, obviously. So we'll just, yeah, here we go. So it's very difficult for you to be like, oh, he shot a high crotch on me, and I'm here, and I'm gonna sumigeshi this guy, and then come up. It's not real practical just to hit that over and over and over. So anyway, in closing, highly recommend it. This is just a smattering of movements that I started using for the Kimura. Watch John Danaher. He's a much better teacher than I am. And then start watching, when I started watching Gordon Ryan do the Kimura, it actually made me digest the information that John Danaher was doing, because he's doing it with force against a person who is at a top world level. So anyway, that's all I got for today. You guys have a good day. See ya.
You load 'em up.
Hard work,
Hard work, manifest.
hard work,
Hard work, you gotta do it right.
hard work,
And hard